Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Rambeard, and in preparation for Legion, I thought it would be a fun idea to take a look at a couple of interesting minor lore characters in Dalaran. As Legion brings a relocated Dalaran with it, a lot of characters that will be discussed in this video will be seen again soon, and I'm looking forward to see how they've grown over the years. Just to note, this video will not discuss characters that played a big role in the Purge of Dalaran, as that was a rather major event. Let us start with a character probably known to everyone, Marcia Chase. Marcia is the fishing trainer in Dalaran that gives you all sorts of fishing dailies. She stands next to the Dalaran fountain when many a person fishes for the achievement the Coin Master. If you manage to complete this achievement, you'll be rewarded with the Titanium Seal of Dalaran, which brings us to our next character, Geppetto Joybuzz. When you complete the fishing achievement, Geppetto is the one that mails you your Titanium Seal, namely. He's a resident of Dalaran himself and can be found in his toy shop, the Wonderworks. Geppetto is an obvious reference to Pinocchio's father, but there is no trace of a reference to Pinocchio himself in the shop. Let's go back to Marcia for a second though, as she is linked to another minor character as well. Every time you complete a daily quest for Marcia, she gives you a bag of fishing supplies, and one of the items you can get from it is the jeweled fishing pole. The flavor text on this fishing pole says, "A Tiffany Carter Original." As a beginning player, I always wondered who this Tiffany Carter was, and it turns out that she is a resident of Dalaran too. It is no surprise that she owns the Dalaran Jewel Crafting Store. Her name is a reference to two jewelry companies, Tiffany & Co. and Cartier SA. In this store, you can also buy the Kirintor rings that allow you to teleport to Dalaran. If you step outside of the store, you quickly see a rather interesting gnome, Frozo the Renowned. This freezing gnome flies on top of his frosty flying carpet, which he sells the pattern to, and trades you all sorts of materials for your frozen orbs. Now, Wowpedia says that this character is likely a reference to Bozo the Clown, because of their matching hair and similar name, but I thought it more likely that he is a reference to Frozone from The Incredibles, as that transmorgs and names are similar, and they both ride the frost. Oh well, it's up to you what you think is more probable. This movie referencing brings us to a very minor character, Alfred Copperworth. This man is the butler in the Purple Parlor. He is almost certainly a reference to Batman's butler, Alfred Pennyworth. You can see the similarity there. Let's take a look at a classical player-made movie, Never Stay Tuned by Olabith. This popular machinima series from back in 2007 had a wide variety of characters. One of the characters, a troll TV cook, used to always cook up gnomes, and as a tribute by Blizzard, this character was put into the game with Wrath of the Lich King as an NPC called O Longomba. Awilo gives Horde players their cooking daily quests in Dalaran, but he doesn't seem to be trusted very much. During the daily quests, you usually bring food to different NPCs, but upon receiving their food, they often ask something along the lines of, "Are you sure there are no traces of gnome in this food?" Which is some awesome homage, if you ask me. Awilo is stationed in the Horde Inn, and right outside of his kitchen stands probably the most epic orc female ever, Uda the Beast. This rough innkeeper has some very clear rules: drink and feast, but do not fight. If you fight in the inn, she will feed you to her wolves, Nargad and Ruka. These wolves are pretty awesome beasts indeed. During the Purge of Dalaran, Uda is captured and we are to save her. When we finally find her, we see her two wolves feasting on the corpses of some Silver Covenant members. Pretty beastie indeed. Just like a handful of other NPCs from Dalaran, Uda joined the forces that fought on the Isle of Thunder when she was no longer welcome in Dalaran, but she did eventually return to Dalaran. I think we will see her in Legion. Of course, Dalaran is the city of mages, so let's take a look at some interesting mages in the city. First off, we have Windle Sparkshine. Every evening at 9 PM realm time, he goes around Dalaran to light the streetlights with his wand. You can take a look for yourself, as he still does this to this day. If you talk to him, he is so excited about lighting the lamps that he sells you an item which allows you to light some lamps yourself. I only recently found out about this character, and I thought it was amazing that the lamps around Dalaran actually stay on for quite a while if you turn them on yourself. Another interesting mage who doesn't seem to be doing too well is Archmage Pentarus. We know that Ventress loves rhino dogs with mustard, as we delivered these to him during one of the cooking daily quests in Dalaran. Then why is he not doing so well? Well, Ventress is a big fan of Hammett Nessingwary, so when he heard that the hunter would come to Northrend, he offered to fund the expedition in return for some exotic samples from Sholazar Basin. He has, however, not gotten anything in the past couple of years, so that's kinda sad. He sends us to Sholazar to seek out Hemet, but we don't manage to bring anything back for him. One of the quests around Hemet Nessingwary's camp actually triggers a quest in Dalaran, so that's pretty cool. There is a washed up mage in Dalaran sewers who seems to do nothing but lay there. If you get acquainted with Kungalush at Nessingwary's camp in the basin, you will, however, have something to talk about with the washed up mage. This mage will actually teach you the recipe needed to make Kungalush yourself. And this was pretty important, as making Kungalush used to be required for maxing your cooking skill. A funny mage who doesn't really have any lore to her, but who I thought was worth mentioning anyways because of her name, is the Wand Vendor in Dalaran. Her name? Abracadabra. Yeah. Oh well, let's move on to a very grumpy mage. Every Archmage walking the streets of Dalaran will give you directions. Every one of them, except for Baba Ganoush, the Grumpy. This is seriously the only mage that will tell you to go away as he is busy, instead of giving you directions. He is kind of interesting aside from that, however, as he is the inspiration for the Dalaran Mage God in Hearthstone, so that's cool. A very awesome mage from Dalaran is of course Archmage Vargoth, but I won't discuss him, as I already made a video about him, going into all the details of his life. A tiny mage that I had trouble recording is Minigob Manabonk. I had no idea that this character existed until I was randomly transformed into a sheep when banking in Dalaran on my level 80 warrior. I didn't see who did it, and I was not flagged for PvP, and thus I was confused. Later that day I got a mail from Minigob Manabonk saying the following. Hey there, name. Remember when you got sheeped in Dalaran? Yeah, that was me, Minigob Manabonk. I just wanted to send you a letter to let you know who sheeped you. Also, because you were such a good sport about it, I'm sending you a wand of my own. Now, you can Manabonk your friends. When you do, tell them Minigob Manabonk sent you. I thought this was incredibly flavorful, but I think this event is rather rare. I was unable to get it to happen a second time despite standing around the Dalaran banks for several hours. There are actually a lot of characters walking around Dalaran that imitate players. If you keep your eyes open, you'll often see characters like Lindsay Redgrin and Narastal Palestar banking, hearthstoning and training professions. This is to add liveliness to the city, and I think it works well. Let's take a look at some of the families in Dalaran. These families don't necessarily have any lore to them, but I think they're very nice additions nonetheless. Take for instance the Egan family, who takes care of the alchemy and herbalism in Dalaran. Edward and Dorothy Egan can be found in the herbalism garden, where they train you herbalism and sell you supplies, while Patricia Egan can be found in the apothecary, where she sells alchemy supplies. Or the Langram and Breitling families, who sell their wares at Langram's Ladder and Links. The most interesting family is probably the Moorhead family. Endora and Hagatha Moorhead run the Sister Sorcerer's shop in Dalaran, where you can buy some tomes that alter your spells as a mage, like Polymorph Black Cat. Endora and Hagatha are based on the characters Endora and Aunt Hagatha from the Bewitched series. The actress that plays Endora is called Agnes Moorhead, hence the last name. Whether or not Debbie Moore in Dalaran is also linked to these characters remains uncertain. We have not really talked about undead characters yet, so let's talk about a super awesome undead character, Kay Toogle. You may realize that you've not heard this name before, and that would not be a surprise, as you do not come across this character randomly. There is only one way to get to her, by using the wormhole generator Northrend. Even then, it is unlikely that you will see her, as the generator usually offers you 5 options. On a very rare occasion, there will be a 6th option, the Underground. If you take this option, you'll be teleported to a confined area where you cannot leave without a teleport. In the area sits Kay Toogle, who sells engineering recipes, so that's pretty awesome, I thought. Alas, we've come to the last 2 characters, but they are by no means the least. My Francis and Brioni. These 2 animal lovers are in charge of sending you tons of mail. Every time you get a mount or a pet from an achievement, or a Battle.net purchase, one of these characters will send it to you. You can find them in and near the menagerie in Dalaran. Brioni owns this menagerie and will sell you heaps of pets, while May is just outside, willing to sell you plenty mounts, including the infamous Traveler's Tundra Mammoth. Brioni sometimes visits the Darkmoon Fair petting zoo, saying things like, "If only I had more room in my store, I'd take you all with me to Dalaran." But with that, this video has come to an end, and I thoroughly hope you enjoyed it, as I had a blast making it. I'll see you again next time and wish you a good day. Goodbye.